State calls Carl Funnigan.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as previously stated with the last witness, I inform you that Mr. Cox was representing that witness. The person here today, without objection from the state of the defense, letting you know, is Attorney Charles Bock, and he's going to be representing this witness. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that the jurors, the attorneys, and the court reporter can hear. All right, state.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Funnigan, can you please just tell the jury what you do for your living?
Right now I do maintenance, preventative maintenance at an apartment complex here in San Antonio.
And is that apartment complex East Meadows?
Yes, that's correct.
Does that include the Wheatley senior living?
Absolutely.
And that's located here in San Antonio on the east side, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. March 31st, 2022, were you working that day?
Yes.
And did you look at some videos and did you witness the shooting that day?
Yes, I did.
Who did the shooting that day?
Who did the shooting?
Yes, sir.
Guy named Vernon King.
And does he have a AKA or a nickname?
Keno, that goes by Keno.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir. I do.
Can you please identify him by article of clothing and point him out?
Sitting right here.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant in this case, please. Now, I'm going to show you. Well, let me ask you this. You were working that day, and how do you get around the complex when you're working?
We get around through golf carts.
The golf cart. And what brought your attention to Keno and the people that he was with that day?
Well, I was on my way to one of the senior offices to talk with one of my fellow coworkers about an issue we had going on with some water leaks. And on my way there, I could hear some commotion. It was kind of loud, mostly women. So on my way there, once I made it to the senior facility, going into the gate, entering the gate, I can actually now see where the commotion is coming from. So I see females engaging in vulgar language and arguing, and it got a little physical or whatnot. So I was there kind of spectating, trying to see what was really going on or who was causing the confusion.
And so you stated that you were coming down the street. Do you remember what the name of that street was?
Yes, that was Hayes.
Hayes Street. And then did you turn into the parking lot of that complex?
Yes, I turned into the back parking lot of the senior facility, which is also half and half of the East Meadows.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked and entered in evidence already as state exhibit number 9. If you look at the screen here, I'm going to start this video at 15:48:00 and tell me when you see yourself.
Right now, entering the gate coming from the Hayes Street side in the golf cart.
And so this golf cart that you see entering on the right side of the screen, that would be you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And can you just say in the direction to the left of the I guess I'm assuming you're all the way to the right, but where is this commotion that you heard about the loud commotion coming from?
The angle that I'm facing in the golf cart right now, the commotion will be coming from my right.
Okay. And is it near something that's identifiable in this video?
Yes, it is near the dumpster areas and the pavilion.
Okay. And that pavilion, is that an awning with picnic tables underneath it?
Yes.
And is there a vehicle parked, or I guess in this video, it looks like there's 2 vehicles parked near that pavilion. Is that correct?
Yes.
What's the vehicle that you can identify? Well, can you identify the vehicles in that video?
I see a red Chrysler and a black looking Mazda.
Okay. And is the Chrysler, like a car or SUV?
Car.
Okay. And is that where the commotion is coming from?
Yes, that's where all of the commotion was centered.
And it seems like in this video right now, you're stopped. Is that correct?
Yes.
It seems like this time you're moving just slightly.
Yes, like still spectating to see what's going on and all the commotion.
Seems at that point you turn in to a parking spot, or where do you go?
I'm entering the back pavilion area of the senior facility.
And at that point, do you go? What do you do? Are you still watching, or what do you do?
Well, yes, as I turned in, my back was turned just for maybe 2 to 3 seconds. But as I continue to approach the back door of the maintenance area in the back behind the senior facility, I kind of turn so where I can see the commotion still.
And did you do anything at that point?
At that point, I felt like something was getting too hectic, so I immediately pulled out my phone and just start recording.
Did you record, or did you take a
I think
photo?
I actually just took photos.
Okay. So, now, I'll show you what's marked state exhibit number 22. Can you identify that?
Yes,
And what is that?
but this area is a little break area for the maintenance guys behind the senior facility right here. This is the back parking lot, and I see the red Chrysler 300 with Mr. King in a all white jumpsuit.
An all-white jumpsuit?
Yes.
And is that the same individual that you know as Keno?
Yes.
And this is a fair and accurate representation of the picture that you took that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves to enter into state exhibit number 22. Will tender to defense for any objections.
We have no objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 22 is admitted without objection.
Your Honor, maybe I publish it to the jury.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked state exhibit number 22. It's been entered into evidence. Is this a table area? Is this the area that you were saying that's a little break area for maintenance and individuals?
Yes.
And then as I'm going to zoom in on this photo. Right here, why I'm pointing. Is that the pavilion or the awning?
Yes.
And then I'm going to point at this right here. What is that?
That is the red Chrysler.
And then is that a person right there in all white?
Yes.
And is that the individual you have identified as Keno?
Yes.
And it looks like from this picture. Where's his arm?
Arm is kind of over.
Did you see Mr. Vernon, well, Keno with the gun that day?
Yes.
And did you see Keno shoot that gun into the car?
Yes.
After he shot, do you recall what Keno did?
After he shot,
Yes, sir.
to me, apparently, if I can recall, it seemed like the gun that he had was handed off to someone else. And after that, I really can't remember all of it, but I do remember the part where the gun was handed off and everybody kind of was spreading out or whatnot. So that's kind of like when I kind of.
Okay. Do you recall if Keno got into 300 Chrysler or did he get in any other vehicle after the shooting?
After the shooting, there was another vehicle, kind of like a Mazda Saturn looking kind of car. That was the car that the assailant left in.
And that particular vehicle, was that the vehicle that was shown in the video earlier?
Yes.
And did that vehicle, that SUV, did it leave the parking lot?
Yes.
And were you still outside when it left the parking lot?
Yes, I was still outside.
Could you hear anything coming from that vehicle?
Yeah, I heard some loud words being exchanged where it was very irate to where questions were asked like, why did you do this? Or I told you to come on, or and things of that nature. But I couldn't really hear it in plain sight, but
And was that a male voice or a female voice?
female.
Female voice. And where did that vehicle go then as it passed by?
It exited out the gate, took a left, went south on Hayes.
Thank you, sir. We'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
Carl, my name is George Schaefer. I'm a defense lawyer, okay?
That's right.
If I ask you a question that you do not understand, rather than try to answer it with something different, stop me and I'll rephrase it, okay? Okay. On the date that these events happened, you were asked to give a statement to the police.
Yes.
Do you remember who you gave that statement to?
I can't remember his name right off.
Okay. Did you talk to any of the police there at the scene?
No.
Right. Now, you indicated that you were driving through the gate and you saw this commotion to your right, right?
Correct.
And from where the gate is when you came in, did you already hear the commotion?
Yes.
Okay, and that was a bunch of women's voices you heard?
Yes. When I first heard hearing the commotion, all I could hear was mostly women.
Okay. You can't recall anything they said or anything like that, can you?
No, sir.
Okay. Because they were pretty far away, weren't they?
Well, they was far, but I still can hear the pitch of a female voice.
I understand. From where you were in the golf cart to where the commotion was coming from, more than 100 feet?
No, I would say no.
How long do you think, what do you think the distance might be?
From where I was, as I entered the gate,
Yes.
from the commotion, I would say maybe 30 yards.
Okay. So that's 90 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, you leave the area to enter the parking lot and you turn left to go to the back pavilion, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you're creating more distance then between yourself and what's going on.
Correct.
Okay. And may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
You're still in the golf cart, right?
Yes,
And the golf cart is going forward, right?
yes,
And all this commotion is behind you, right?
right.
Well, aren't you watching where you're driving?
As I enter.
Yes.
As I enter to the back pavilion,
Yes.
like I said, I turned around maybe 2 seconds, but there's a small curve that once you go in, it's a small curve you go around. So when I turn to left, it turns me back into the direction of the motion.
So for a while, you can't see anything and then you turn and then you can't.
Yes,
Okay. And now you're probably over 100 feet away.
correct.
Now, when you first started talking to the police there at the scene, okay? You were scared to talk to them, right?
I never talked to the police at the scene.
Okay,
I talked to detectives, outside, away from the scene.
okay. Did you go down to the police station then to make a statement?
No, sir.
So whatever you told the police was there at the location?
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you saw the girls fighting, you didn't know who those girls were you? Did you?
That's correct. I did not know.
And I suppose to this day, you still don't know who they are.
Correct.
Now, you took that picture that's up there on the screen, right?
Yes,
And that was on your cell phone.
yes.
Well, how many people are in that picture?
Right now, I see one.
What happened to all the other folks that were out there?
They said scattered out.
So there may have been other people there, but you just don't remember how many or who?
Right. Correct.
How long have you worked there at those apartments, by the way?
It'd be 4 years in, March.
And do you recall telling the police that some lady told the shooter to leave?
No, I do not recall it.
And do you recall anything that was said from the distance you were?
The only thing I recall hearing is, hearing a female voice say, "Why did you do that?"
I assume that you're a little bit fearful about being in court today.
Okay.
You're okay? Do you feel that by testifying today that it hurts your job or anything like that?
No, sir.
And you know who did the shooting?
Yes, sir.
And the gun was handed off?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I saw.
You know who the gun was handed off to?
No, sir.
You don't know if it was a man, a woman, or whatever.
Oh, yes, it was a male.
Do you know who that person was?
No, sir.
And I guess the last question I have, you indicated this defendant. Last name King,
I'm not sure, last name, but, I do remember, Vernon King or Dixon or something like that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it goes, I don't know if it's middle, first, last.
you also saw another short black male leaving the scene, correct?
Or black male?
Yes, sir.
No, I did not.
Didn't see someone wearing a yellow, white, and black striped shirt?
No, sir, I was, oblivious to them at the moment, no, I didn't.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, sir, I did not notice,
Okay.
short.
Do you know who Juicy is?
I know the name, and I know the person, but I don't know his real name or where he lives or anything like that. But
Yeah, I
yes,
understand, but you know the short guy named Juicy, right?
yes, yes.
Was he there that day?
I didn't see him.
You know someone by the name of Fat Fat?
No, sir.
That's the witness, Your Honor.
There, Your Honor.
Yes.
State exhibit number 16. I didn't ask you this earlier. Do you know who that is?
Yes, the young man named Juicy.
The who?
Goes by Juicy.
That goes by Juicy. This individual on state exhibit number 16. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
There are no further questions after, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the state, Your Honor.
Excused by the defense as well.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense, and of course, your attorney. You understand?
Yes.
All right, you may step down.